Hello guys, and welcome to 25 upcoming open world games in 2016. Now 2015 was a great year for open world games, but 2016 looks to be even better. So I've come up with 25 games to suit various tastes, some of which will likely set some benchmarks for years to come. Prepare your wallets, fellow gamers, because here comes the 2016 hype train.
Shit, hold on, I think we got one more. Watch out, on the left,
Yep.
Taking place during a crisis in New York, The Division aims to be a tactical shooter with survival elements. Teaming up with players online is critical to high-end progression to get better gear and improve your character's skill set in this gritty, team-based open world.
Yeah, got him.
Land, food and fuel are a luxury in this flooded landscape, forcing online players to fight for resources and hold areas of the map. Hide and Hold Out's strongest feature appears to be its diverse crafting system, including gathering, intuitive base building and scrap battleships. Featuring procedurally generated maps, a leveling system, classes, gear and boss fights, Fortnite sees you teaming up with online players to build strongholds to defend objectives. By day you collect resources to build up your stronghold, and by night you fight back waves of evil as you progress through the worlds. Crackdown 3 is a single and multiplayer game based in large, extremely destructible cities. Each building is powered by its own server to handle the immense physics and 100% destructibility of each building. This could very well be the ultimate sandbox shooter, where the battlefield changes drastically as you play. On a quest for revenge in 1968 New Orleans, Mafia 3 takes Mafia onto the latest consoles, but from teaser gameplay footage, Mafia 3 looks to be directed by a Michael Bay wannabe, where you play as the Incredible Hulk, not exactly Mafia. But I still have hope for this game, if there's anything Mafia related included. 5 years after the events of the Shadow Warrior reboot, you and up to 4 friends can fight off demons with over 70 weapons in this story-focused game, while having the freedom to revisit and complete procedurally generated side missions, including random enemies, terrain, buildings and weather conditions.
You make dying look so easy!
Crash landing on a planet full of psycho robots, you play as a mechanic that uses his engineering skills to overcome challenges. By using randomly generated worlds as your personal scrap pile, you can build machines, shelters and very funky vehicles. If you like 2015's Besiege, you will probably like 2016's Scrap Mechanic. Set in the 1500s with the aim to be historically accurate and realistic, Kingdom Come Deliverance features very detailed mechanics for combat, maintaining a healthy body with food and sleep, and advancing in skills used by real medieval soldiers. Expect a brutal, immersive experience with this one. Escape from Tarkov is set in the fictional Russian city of Tarkov, which is ripe with anarchy. This shooter favours realism, so expect in-depth movement, hunger, health, blood, medical and gun mechanics, along with MMO elements like leveling your character, PvP and teaming up to complete difficult quests. The human race is looking for a new home in its closest galaxy, Andromeda. Using a spaceship to literally fly through space or through the air with a freaking jetpack, you search solar systems for an inhabitable world with your crew, setting up settlements and battling alien races along the way in this story-driven game. Sea of Thieves is a multiplayer pirate adventure game where you battle other crews in ships and create your own adventures, which might be free to play on release, but this is not confirmed by developers. Final Fantasy XV story goes back to its roots with the involvement of crystals and a huge open world to explore. As a long-standing Final Fantasy fan, I'm sad to see there's no turn-based combat here, but combat will still involve strategy by exploiting monster weaknesses. Expect stunning visuals, sounds, a story and summons like you've never seen them before. More of an open universe game than an open world game, No Man's Sky allows you to explore roughly 18 quintillion planets, that's this many, while surviving against local inhabitants of planets, sentinels and warring factions. You can upgrade your ship and equipment, take part in space battles and even name planets that you discover before anyone else. In a world where the fabric of time and space is literally going to shit, you play as Jack Joyce, a man gifted with time manipulation. Apart from his epic abilities to set a clock, you can use time to dodge bullets, rush enemies, shield yourself, blast enemies, and create time bubbles where time flows slower or faster, all while solving time-related puzzles and following a story in this time-fractured world. A few months after the events of Dead Island 1, mainland USA gets hit by a virus that spreads rapidly through California. Like Dead Island 1, you follow quests and help out local residents to unravel the why and how of it all, while leveling up your character and improving your very creative weapons. Dead Island 2 looks to focus more on multiplayer zombie bashing fun over realistic combat mechanics. Once again you play as Faith, attempting to overthrow a totalitarian city in this story-driven game, but this time round the world is completely open with no loading screens. A lot of mechanics will be improved to allow for more free-flowing gameplay, and you'll be able to compete in races against other players. Returning as Jensen 2 years after Human Revolution, Mankind Divided focuses heavily on choice, adding an open world social hub and larger level hubs to let you choose how you wish to engage enemies, if at all, with new augments for time manipulation, blatant wall hacks and other useful tools. Be aware however, Mankind Divided has a very strange pre-order system, so look into that first. Set in an ancient valley, you play as Takar, a down-on-his-luck caveman looking to dominate the land with his newfound tribesmen. Instead of guns, you use the latest in Stone Age technology, and instead of playing co-op, you use tameable animals with varying abilities, helping you fight against hunger, the cold, warring tribes, and the small fact that you're not at the top of the food chain here. Said to be a mix between Assassin's Creed and Skyrim, Horizon Zero Dawn takes place 1,000 years into the future during an apocalypse where mechanical creatures have taken over the world. Using a variety of tactical tools and strategies, you scavenge these creatures to craft better gear and complete missions in the world with no loading screens. Taking place 4 years after the first home front, you play as a rebel against invading Koreans in Philadelphia. Using gadgets and a squad, you engage enemies as you wish in unscripted battles to retake districts on the map. While doing this, you can scavenge gatherables to modify and improve your weapons and gadgets. An ambitious project, Star Citizen attempts to simulate what it would be like to live in 30th century space, allowing you to travel, trade and battle in a persistent Milky Way that's strongly influenced by the player communities within. Piracy, scandal and politics will be afoot as you try to find your place among other players in the MMO portion of this game, or follow the single player campaign called Squadron 42, releasing very soon. Set 200 years before Mount & Blade Warband during the fall of the Corellian Empire, 6 factions fight and barter for control over the world that's 3 to 4 times the size of Warbands, featuring seasons, crafting, minigames, sieging, AI that respect your personal space, and better modding support. Keeping the land safe from forest fires, you play as Henry, a fire lookout in a 1989 American wilderness. Firewatch is heavily story driven with no combat or survival mechanics. Your only companion is Delilah, with your relationship with Delilah changing depending on how, or if, you respond by walkie-talkie. From the creative leads of Telltale's The Walking Dead, you can expect a good story to back this game. Based on the series of cyberpunk tabletop role-playing games, Cyberpunk 2077 aims to be a non-linear RPG in a dystopian setting, where the line between humans and technology have become blurred. From the creators of the highly successful Witcher series comes CD Projekt Red's largest and grittiest project yet, claiming the map will be several times bigger than Witcher 3's map, which, by the way, is already an expansive 52 square kilometers. Set in a South American wasteland, you and your 4-man squad, which can include your friends, take on drug cartel members in an attempt to rid the region of corruption. Using an array of methods, you're free to engage enemies as you choose, gaining XP and unlocks as you progress, with consequences that affect the local populace. So there you have it, 25 open world games and 25 reasons to call in sick this year. I was going to include these games on screen in the list, but decided not to for the following reasons. If I missed a game, let me and others know in the comments, and if you discovered a new game or new info about a game in this video, like and share to pass the knowledge on to others. Thank you for watching, and while most of these games will probably be okay on release, remember the lessons of pre-ordering in 2015.